Okay, hello and welcome in everyone. My name is Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing, my slow life hobbies in my 30s, we have gathered around the beautiful brew kettle, and we're going to be making some Hefeweizen. So, Hefeweizen's a style I've never brewed before. Technically speaking, I probably should have brewed this beer sooner in the season. It's definitely being pretty late. Hefeweizen's definitely more of a summer beer. It also likes to ferment at warmer temperatures versus lower temperatures. But hey, it's early August. We still got some time left. And hopefully I can get this beer done by the time I harvest my hops. So we'll see what happens with all of that. So I've got the burner at the kettle. It's running right now. It's warming up. Just last time I checked, it was just over 100 degrees, so we're going to still be waiting on this guy for a while. So since I'm waiting on this guy, I'm going to be cracking open the cold one. And this actually is not a beer cold one. This is the Paul L8, which if you've been watching me, I think I've had like one of these per stream. Which is basically the rate I've been rationing these. Is like, I've been rationing these sodas to like one per day because, well, one, they're amazing. They're great. I really love how they actually worked with Eastern Kentucky University, which has the only Paul research program in the world. And they worked with them to figure out the flavor compounds that make Paul taste like Paul. So, really fun to see, like, actual, like, research into a really niche fruit from Eastern North America. And hello, Mr. Spock. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning. As for me, I drank a lot of beer yesterday, and I feel a little tired because I drank a lot of beer, but I don't have any headaches or anything, so I gotta say, I'm doing pretty good here. So, now, in this magic bag, I have the malt for the Hefeweizen. And I have to see if... Yep, I did. Sometimes I tie these knots more beer fixes that Sugi. There will be plenty. There's beer for later. Like, basically, once I finish the L8, there will be beer consumed. There will be beer. However, though, we're going to be talking about pre-beer. So, actually, I'm going to bring this over here. So, let's see here. Let's pick this up a bit. I want to just get just to talk a little bit about our malt here. This is actually not malt. This is rice hulls. So essentially when they hull rice, there's like a papery exterior to rice. And this is actually used in brewing for certain beers. Those certain beers are usually beers that have a lot of wheat malt or a lot of rye malt. And the reason why you want to have these rice hulls in these wheat and rye malt beers is because wheat and rye malts have a high amount of protein to them. Lots of protein in this malt. And because of that protein, the mash can get gummy, like all this stuff in the mash tun. So you can get what's called a stuck mash, where you can't get like a good filter through your mash. So to counter that, when you're working with these high protein beers, it binds to the molecules in a good way. So basically, rice hulls are just like filler that just helps keep the mash from getting stuck later. So, and this is actually like I think this is like the first time I've actually used rice hulls for a beer I've streamed. It's also been a long time since I've used rice hulls in a brew. They will be used again because at some point in time, I need to try brewing a Roggenbreier. Now, Hefeweizen is a style of beer that a lot of people associate with Germany, associate with Bolivia. It's well known. Roggenbreier is a much, much more niche beer. I have only had that beer twice. And both times I had that beer, it was a collaboration between two craft breweries. Very rare beer style. It's also... one was kind of mid, whereas the other one I had was just, like, phenomenal. But Roggenbreier uses a lot of rye in the mash bill. And I do enjoy what rye does for my beers. Because one, it makes them red, but also just generally makes them, like, look pretty. Well, yeah, it looks pretty, and also it imparts like a more of a spicy note to the beer, which is really nice. 120. Okay, so we're past 130. So we're past 130 on here, slowly coming up. Why does it taste like banana and cloves when neither are an ingredient? That is because of yeast. So I have, well, actually. So for today's yeast, we're going to be using a White Labs Bavarian Weizen Ale yeast. Code number WLP351. The yeast are what make the banana and clove notes. And then that's going back in the cooler until we're ready to pitch it. So the yeast will actually break down some of the various molecules and stuff, and they'll actually wait. So I actually have a really good article linked below on the history of Bavarian yeast. Well, not Bavarian yeast, but Bavarian beer, and specifically the Weizen beers. Let's see, because I know in this article I actually have the actual chemical, which is really cool. And also this article gets like very in depth. So, okay, yes. So the banana notes that you get in this beer are due to an ester. An ester is a penal compound that forms during, well, esters are just like a class of like organic chemical. I am by no means an organic chemist. Please don't have those expectations of me. But the magic chemical is isomyl acetate. That is the chemical that makes Hefeweizens taste like banana. So let's see. Find the home row. Ah! Oh, wow. I was really off on home row. Is the... And also I'm just gonna like drop this in chat. So that way, if you guys want to like look into it, you can do so. So, ester that... I hope it doesn't storm too much. Gives the... Nah. Oh. Oh gosh. Yes. There we go. So that is the chemical responsible for the banana note. And then I think the clove note is also another ester. And that's actually kind of a fun thing about... And this is also getting back into like flavor compounds. The flavor compounds in this beer that make this beer taste like banana are literally the exact same chemical that makes bananas taste like banana. It's just in nature, there's different ways to make all the chemicals, essentially. It's just today we're going to be using a fungus to make those chemicals. Versus a plantain, in the case of a banana. So, granted, actually, let's see. I'm not going to go super into this article for the actual chemical for the clove notes, but... Okay, yeah. Now, before we do our, like, mashing, because we're gonna be getting close, because I'm getting close to 140 here, I want to make sure... So the recipe I have is not calling for a protein rest, which a protein rest is a way to handle the additional protein in the wheat malt. A protein rest is typically done at 135 Fahrenheit to 139 degrees Fahrenheit, so just like a touch lower than what you would typically do if you were like going in for an actual mash. For this, my target mash temp is going to be 152 when we actually get like fully into mashing. So, what is my temp? Okay, so we're coming up on 150, so we're getting really close now. So, let's go ahead and get this. Let's get this malt into our mash tun. In weed, the temps give it weird smells and flavors. Years ago, I grew a garlic bud strain, smelled exactly like garlic. Nice. Yeah, it's always fun when you can find like instances of a smell or a chemical present in one plant that you typically associate with other plants. I use pea and acetate at work, and it has a banana smell too. Welcome in, Ari. Oh man, you get that. Oh man, you actually get to do the fun manufacturing. I'm running my machine by myself, so I can't chat, but good luck on the brew. Well, you have a great work day, Irie. And thank you for stopping by. Yeah. We'll just throw that off to the side. Because I do save this. Fake blue raspberry flavor sucks. Aww. Damn it, having to get gloves to be safe. There we go. And then I'm gonna touch down the burner. Like bring the burner heat just a touch more down so you don't get too hot. And then say, yeah, we're just hitting 160, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start sending this. I might, I'm really considering doing just a small protein rest of like 5 minutes. Oh, the smell. This is the thing I do like about brewing, is when you're mashing in, it always smells exactly like hot cereal. And I just love how consistently it smells like that, and also kind of like how intense, because yeah, even though I'm doing this in my garage in my basement, yeah, my house will smell like hot cereal for the remainder of today. But that's honestly, it's a good smell though. So let's start round about our first gallon. Usually I don't get it. I'm not able to do like a really good stir on the mash at one. With 1 gallon of water in there, usually I have to get up to 2 gallons of water, and then the mash will start to, it'll be a bit more liquidy for me. And then I can actually be able to like really stir it and make sure I don't have any like dough balls or anything like that. And then I should also be able to get my thermometer in there as well. So, but yeah, now we're gonna be, so essentially this is mashing. This is the start of the process to where we're gonna be converting the starch in the malt into sugar, because this is the part that's very important. Because we can't have alcohol without sugar. Yeast needs sugar. So it's definitely more stirrable now. It's nice, steamy, warm. I have really good temperature at the brew kettle. I've dropped, got 2 gallons in. I'm gonna turn down that burner a bit more. Try old Hector taking a dump. That fills up the house with aroma, but not as good. I don't have pets. And there's reasons why I don't have pets. Well, honestly, I just don't like to take care of a critter. Now, it's fun to occasionally take care of a critter, which the cat that's been wandering around my house, I actually managed to feed them some treats earlier this week, like probably like Wednesday or Thursday or something. It was actually real funny. Yeah, it was Wednesday, because I went to the front yard to gather basil for a pizza. And then since I was in the front yard, I checked the mail, and when I was checking my mail, I saw the kitty over there, and it was kind of funny, because he actually just like, well, he or she, kind of just like looked at me and watched me. They'll be your friend now. I think that they have very much warmed up to me. So we got 2.5 gallons of water right now. Well, 2.5 gallons of water in there. I wish to inspect my temperature. Oh wow, okay. So we've already like done. So according to that, we've already done went up by. We're already in the 140s, so. There goes doing that protein rest. But that's fun. Technically, I need to get it warmer, but I'm gonna stir it, let it sit. Because sometimes the temperature it'll say one thing at one time and then it'll change. It'll change its mind. And oh, oh dear. And unfortunately, another thing with the hot cereal smell of malt, it does certainly do attract its fair number of flies. Let's see what we got now. Wipe. Ooh. Oh, wow. Nice, 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 nice. So we are basically right at 150 temp-wise. I am currently aiming for 152, so I'm gonna just splash a little bit of extra water. And like literally just a splash, not a lot. I'm gonna give this a nice, reasonable stir. Just make sure I don't have any clumped up pieces of malt. And then I'm gonna get that in a reasonable spot. And we're gonna let that sit for about Probably about 30 seconds. And then I'll check it again, and if it's good, we're going to throw the lid on. And then mashing begins. Technically, mashing has already gotten started, but hey, we're basically 20 minutes into the stream, and we already got mashing going, so that's really good. Well, Mr. Spock, you enjoy your 420. As for me, I still have wonderful, delicious Pawpaw L8, and I will also need to fill this up as well. What do we have? Temperature-wise, what do we have? Ooh, okay, okay. So we're probably a touch high. Because we were like we were above 152. So I am going to stir and let sit. Because we're like really close, which is nice. I like being really, really, really close. So since we're a touch high, we'll just do a stir, let sit, see what the temperature comes in at, and yeah, like it's small adjustments. When you're really trying to dial in your mash temperatures, you really want to go with small adjustments. You don't want to do any big adjustments. And also don't forget to hydrate everyone. So, we did talk a little bit about the wheat malt that went into this, but this is also getting a fair helping of Vienna malt, and there's also a touch of crystal malt in this as well. And supposedly the crystal malt just helps give it a little bit of a additional, like, a little bit more of a malt backbone. Really haven't... I am very underexperienced when it comes to brewing with wheat, so, but I'm trying to fix that problem right now. Shucks, I need to brew more rye beer, honestly. I need to make a rye IPA at some point. I would... Like, the third beer the only beer I've drain poured was a rye IPA where... And the reason I had to drain pour it was all the hops that went into it got this tube stuck. So when I was trying to move everything into the fermenter, yeah, the way I unclogged that resulted in contaminated my wort, and that's what resulted in that being a drain pour. But past that, that is like the only beer I've brewed that I've had to drain pour. Otherwise, they've generally turned out pretty good. And okay, so we are still a touch high. I reckon we're looking at 154. We want 152, so really it's just we're off by 2 degrees. So we're gonna give this a nice stir. We see lots of steam coming out. That will help cool it. And then we'll let it sit and see how happy it gets. So, with that, I am very confident that that is not going to get any more water. I'm going to be adding some water to here, because this is going to be my strike water for later. And I think, last brew I did, my Oktoberfest, I think I was a little bit short on strike water, so I'm going to be generous here and give myself 4.5 gallons. Because when I eventually... Is it calling mashing out when I take the wort out of the mash tun? I think that is called mashing out. When I mash out with strike water, I want my final wort to be close to 6 gallons. Even though this is a 5-gallon batch of beer, would distilled water be better? It doesn't really matter, because the beer brewing process is divided into essentially two areas. One area is the hot side, the other area is the cold side. As far as sanitization, as long as your equipment is generally clean, you really don't have to worry about like sanitization or anything. Because when we mash out and then do our boil, that boil is going to kill any bacteria that's in here, any bacteria that's in this water, any bugaboos like that. I mean, granted, this is clean equipment, and you have to have clean before it is sanitized, and that's a whole thing. But once you get to the cold side of the process, like say you got to the point where you did your boil, you got 4.5 gallons of wort out of here, and then say this wasn't the mash tun, say this was the fermenter. If you were to, and say you would want to like add water to bring the volume up to 5 gallons, then I would say distilled water in that situation would be the tool of choice. Because after you've chilled the wort, you're now on the cold side of the brewing process. In which case you want to be a lot more aware of your sanitizing and what would be. So it would be a redundant step. Yeah, and it would just also be an additional expense. Because distilled water costs more money than tap water. And also, I have really good tap water where I live, so. Oh, okay. Well, so, we are actually not really losing much in terms of temperature. Which, admittedly, is kind of fine. I am a touch high, but you know what? My readings are also consistent, so. I think for now, all I'm going to do is just give... Actually, we'll probably just give this a nice little stir for a while. Like a nice, like, long duration stir. Now, granted, actually, And then after I finish stirring, I need to make sure that I set a timer. Because this part of the process takes like 60 minutes. And even though I'm still trying to dial in my mash temperature, well, I've still got enzymes in here working for me. I'm pretty sure if I were to stick my finger into this liquid, it would have a nice sweet taste to it. But man, granted, I will say that malt actually, that mash actually feels like it has a bit of a stickiness to it. So, for this guy, what do I want to do for the strike water? Honestly, I'm going to turn the burner off. Because we have time. We have so much time. Well, we have so much time before before that will come into play. So, let's go to timer 5. So, we're basically already 10 minutes into the mash. So I'm going to be setting my timer for 50 minutes, and then that's going to be our, like, 60 minutes of mashing time. And then probably once we get to about 20 minutes to the end, I'll relight the burner and I'll start warming up the strike water, because strike water is already at like 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and I just need to bump it up to 180 when I use it as strike water. And one of the things, strike water does 2 things. One thing it will do for you is it actually will stop the enzymes from working in the mash. So it basically hits the pause button on the mashing. Well, actually, it hits a stop button, because at 180 degrees, that will actually denature the enzymes that are responsible for converting the starches into sugars. And that's the more dangerous thing you got to be aware of when you're mashing, is you don't want to mash too hot, because if you go too hot, you denature the enzymes, and, well, your beer's not going to have the sugar it needs to make the yeast happy. And if the yeast aren't happy, then you're not going to be happy with the amount of alcohol you get out of this, which, granted, I am not a huge, well, I like my alcohol, but I don't like tons of it, or I don't like, I don't think I'll ever make a high, what about the Monster Mash? Oh gosh. I think I remember that song from way back in the day, but one of my issues is that I am like so culturally dyed in the wool as a weeb. I pretty much listen to just weeb music nowadays. And also lots of Toho music, but granted, we actually have Comiket coming up this month, which means a whole bunch of new Toho music releases, and it's a time of year where I have to tell my heart to be still. Granted, I actually really wanna look into picking up some Toho CDs from this Comiket. Gosh, I don't even know if Dojin style still is a thing. Because there was a couple online forums where people would actually just post an Excel list of all the releases, which was really good because it was like a one-stop source for me to find. It's like, okay, I could go down this list and be like, okay, this circle's releasing these albums, this circle's releasing those albums. Okay, cool. This makes my shopping very easy. Granted, one of the challenging things about also shopping. What, not a Mozart fan? I mean, Mozart's good. Mozart's good music. Ooh, haha. We are perfect. Perfect. Wonderful. We have hit that temperature. We've hit our 152. On the dot, on the money. This is great. Also, by the way, that Paw Paw LA is now depleted. So, it's time for brewskis. So, this is my English Golden Ale. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. I can't use a bottle opener in my right hand. I am, like, so... That is definitely a danger of being too much of a lefty. Okay. So this is the English Golden Ale. I think the English Golden Ale was the last brew I made on stream, question mark? And I got way too aggressive with the pour. Oh, dearie. Okay, well, hopefully we don't have too many beer snobs in chat. But yeah, and also, hey, as I mentioned, I am deeply Toho built. Also, you're gonna have beer and also be a weeb. You gotta have the Toho glassware. Granted, the glassware was actually a gift. But yeah. So, essentially, this English Golden Ale I have here, actually, here. I don't know. It's a little bit hard. That's fine. So this English Golden Ale is essentially a blonde that I brewed with English ale yeast. Now, usually a lot of your more clean blonde ales, those will be made with an American ale yeast. I went with an English ale yeast because I wanted some more esters to it. Which is nice because we're going to be working with Bavarian ale yeast, and then that's also going to impart quite a bit of esters, but nowhere near as much as like an English ale yeast, which please don't ask me to get too far into the weeds of all the different yeasts and what they do. I've been brewing. I've been a home brewer for close to 8 years now. So, wait. Oh no, it's 9. Because I started in 2017. Oh gosh, it's good. It's good. Which also, by the way, I saw this when I was making my notes. Oh wait, and that was also when I was using a bad pen. You won't be able to see it because I do keep a journal of sorts. It is a very poor journal. Other brewers probably have much better journaling than me, because I literally pretty much just write down the recipes and when I brewed them. That helps me keep track of when I need to like bottle it and stuff like that. Hey, pen. Ugh. So, today's beer is the 69th beer I have ever brewed, so that's very exciting. And also, these are pages. Here's all the pages of all the recipes I made over the years. I'm actually starting to get close to the end of this book, which is kind of exciting. Oh my gosh, I didn't even write dates down. First time I brewed a beer and wrote a date down was then, and that was the 3rd recipe. That's coincidentally the recipe I also like royally screwed up because, well, yeah, cleanliness and sanitization are very important in brewing. Whew. Granted, I also don't have to worry about doing the science experiment thing. And what I call the science experiment thing is I have this beaker bottle, and if I'm working with a dry yeast, like I have a packet over here, sort of like one of the Safflogers styles of yeast, I'll put water in here, and this will be for rehydrating the yeast when I go to pitch it. But because I'm actually working with a White Labs, I can just pitch it as is. Granted, that yeast is also a lot more expensive. Because, oh gosh, because I spent like $22 on malt. I've got 1 ounce of hops here. We got Altaru. I'm not going to even try to do the other half of it. Because the hops, I think they sell hops for like $2.50, so that's like... So that's about $25 in ingredients between the malt and hops, but my final bill was like 38 bucks, which I really wish I knew how expensive that yeast was. Because my homebrew shop has like a rewards program where every time you spend, whenever you check out, for every $20 you have on your bill, you get a star. And then once you accumulate 20 stars, you will get a 20% off your next visit. So if I was somehow able to add $2 additional of purchases to this run, I would have been able to get 1 additional star, which would have put me another step closer to getting my next 20% off. So granted, that's actually, which is actually, I kind of like it as a program, because if I wish to like upgrade my brewing setup in some way, I will just wait until I get that 20%, and then I can just buy all the stuff I want to do if I want to just like really like level up something, which I haven't done. I did buy a stainless steel mesh for the brew kettle to hopefully keep hops out, but I've used it a couple times and it hasn't worked as well as I hoped, and that's kind of made me sad. I can never keep minimal records of my grows. I have a growing star log that I input info at the start every year. The rest doesn't get so much additional info. Okay. But you do keep an idea of what you've done, and what you're like next gonna do. Which honestly, I really like just writing the recipes down in case I wish to brew that recipe again. I just go to the recipe book, find my recipe, and off to the races. That's actually how I do my Oktoberfest, cause my Oktoberfest brew, it's called, shucks, so one of my favorite things about home brewing is where I will go to get recipes, which usually if I'm on the internet looking for a beer brewing recipe, I usually end up in one of two places. Either on the home brewing subreddit, or, which is actually where today's recipe comes from. It comes from the home brewing subreddit. And then the other source is some random website that I search such and such beer recipe, what we got, and then I just get like, oh, hey, here's a place. Where the different plants are located mostly, okay. And then where you have to deal with the boreworms. Okay. I don't have to deal with boreworms. I have to deal with crabgrass. Which I am really considering. I've heard you can add a pre-emergent for your garden for crabgrass. Well, I don't know necessarily if it's like garden safe. I don't know if it will like also kill some of my garden plants, but I am going to heavily consider that option next year. And also, speaking of gardening, I was out in the yard before stream, and so my hop trellis project, all the bines on the backside of it blew off. Like, they all, like, the twine just broke from the support I have, and I'm just like, I just kind of like looked at it and was like, oh man. And this is like, and like, I'm getting like really close to the hop harvest for my area, so I might be able to salvage the hops. We'll see. Funny enough, actually, did I take a picture of it? I think I did. I had some hops. I had one where it was just like one fell off, like probably like 2 weeks ago or something. Yeah. Okay, can I flip this over? Flip it over. And we'll just turn up the brightness. So I took the hop trellis and then I just tied it to a pole so it would be kind of up rather than retie it up. But that was something I did for that one. I might do it for some of these. I think what happened in my case is the twine got overloaded. It had too many hops on it. So I probably, because I've been permissive of allowing 2 hop binds to grow on one twine. And I think some of those had like up to 3 or 4. So, because I also don't really watch my hops. Once my, ooh, oh, hey, you know what? Oh. Well, that was an overflow. Oh, man. But you know what? Still good beer, though. So, probably not. Well, actually, let's see. Let's pull up a calendar here. Because I actually do streams of when I do my hop harvests. So, last year I did the hop harvest on August 20th, which is also kind of another fun thing when you like stream your hobbies like this, because the channel is a reference you can go back to later. Sort of a bit like a logbook, if you will. So, hopefully sometime next week I will be not next week, but the week after that, will probably be some point in that time, mid-August. I'll be doing the hop harvest stream. Speaking of that, the moths should be laying eggs on the plants around now. Oh, on the your cannabis plants? Huh. Because I do have some moth activity. Shucks, I actually had one of those like really big like Luna moths on some of my ornamental plants in my like front bed. I can't think of the name off the top of my head because it's not a native plant. But that was actually like really cool. That was a really cool find that one time, so, man. Oh. Granted, I also have had a lot of, like, good fireflies this year. Lots of fireflies this year, but... Ooh. I really need to buckle down and actually get... I need to really finish processing firewood. So that way I can just get that task done, marked off my list, and then... I can actually maybe focus on cleaning up the garden. Yep, they hatch and bore into the stems, causing damage. Just cut the branch out with the worm in it, and good to go. Okay, okay. Yeah, let's see. Well, that's not the same thing, but there's actually this. So there's a bug in eastern North America called the hickory weevil. And if you're hiking in the woods and you see a dead hickory branch, like on the trail or off to the side or whatever's, and it has leaves on it, look at the base of the limb, and if you see a ring around it, that was a hickory weevil. And what the hickory weevil will do is they will lay their eggs in the tip of a hickory tree stem, and then they will cut a circle around the outer side of the limb, and then when the limb breaks off and falls down to the ground, the hickory weevil will like live in the stem tissue and eat that, build up its strength, and then when it wants to go into hibernation, it will burrow down into the ground, which is why the hickory weevil will cut the stem so the branch falls to the ground. And then once it does its pupal stage in the ground, its resting stage, it then comes up and it's now a weevil, and then it mates and continues the cycle all over again. Last year I caught one trying to get into the stem. The stem was thick, so I had time to kill it. Got to check every day in about 4+ weeks. Oh wow, that's a lot of work. That sounds like lots of work. Like, ooh, cardinal, nice. But yeah, I have gotten very lax on my garden this year. Like, I have. Really, the biggest effort I've put any amount of effort into is watering my raised bed. The cedar raised bed I built like earlier this year that I have a whole bunch of basil in. I've been staying consistent on watering that, but past that I have been exceedingly hands-off, which is part of the reason for that is whenever I have some like free time to work on something, I will be... Weeds. Well, yeah, my garden is like overgrown with weeds. It's terrible. But whenever I have free time, I've just been processing firewood. Partly because I like processing firewood. It's a lot, like, it's more fun for me to process firewood than it is to pull weeds. So I've been a little bit more focused on processing firewood in. I'm getting close to the end of my firewood processing, but I still have a fair bit of like work to do. It's just really gonna take time. Oh man. Sorry, I like walking. I gotta weed the strawberry veg. Like my everything needs to be weeded, man. Mr. Spock, my in-ground beds need to be weeded. My raised beds need to be weeded. Everything has weeds growing in it. Granted, the weeds in the raised beds are like more, like I've got some knotweed, I've got some creeping Charlie. A lot more benign weeds than crabgrass. Crabgrass is just pure evil. It's terrible stuff, I hate it. If I could Thanos snap one thing out of existence, it would be crabgrass. I don't know, maybe I could throw some mosquitoes in there too. We'll do mosquitoes and crabgrass. But I did, so I actually keep a 5-gallon bucket outside. That's kind of like my wash bucket for vegetables. And yeah, it's also my trap for mosquito larvae. So it's in a spot where I can check it easily once a day. And if I see mosquito larvae in it, it's like, hey, sorry losers, you're gonna die, because I'm gonna just take the bucket and pour it out. Please don't make mosquito and crabgrass beer. I have no intentions of making mosquito or crabgrass beer, or any combination of the both, because crabgrass doesn't have starch. It doesn't have starch. And without starch, wait, now we're talking, wait. Could I get starch out of the seeds of crabgrass? Wait. Oh no. I feel like this is theoretically possible, but also a massive pain in the grass. And also, hello, welcome in, Moisturat. That's it, I'm going to bug Bright Eyes, give her treats. Go bug Bright Eyes. And actually, where am I at on time? Okay, so I got 26 minutes left, okay. What if it's actually the best beer? I doubt that. I exceedingly doubt that. Like, here's the thing. I wouldn't even want to know. Okay, here's the thing. There was a microbrewery that, during the heights of the microbrewery boom, they just did weird stuff. They did weird stuff literally just to do weird stuff. I've had a beer made with beef jerky, and that was absolutely disgusting. And after that experience, I'm just like, under no circumstances does meat have a place in a beer. No. Actually, meat does have a place with a beer, but that is on a plate next to the beer. Not in the beer, but next to the beer on a plate. That is where meat belongs. It does not belong in either a brew kettle or a mash tun. Because it was kind of like foul. And it wasn't like foul as like old or like rotten. It was just like, it just purely tasted like this should not exist. That is what it tasted like. It was fermented fish beer. Oh no, not. Maybe it's just beef. What about chicken parmesan hero beer? Oh man, I've heard a lot of people really have said very good things about chicken parmesan. But the thing about that is I actually don't like chicken. I am a very strange creature and I've tried chicken a couple times in my lifetime, both as like a kid and as an adult. And there hasn't been a single circumstance that I've liked fish. Not fish. Well, actually, yes, including fish, but also chicken. I'm not vegetarian, but I am very low meat in terms of like my consumption of meat, simply because I've just never liked it. I've never liked chicken. I've never liked fish. Pigs are interesting because I can consume bacon, but if I eat ham, if I eat cold cuts, if I eat any other part of a pig, my stomach will be like, I don't appreciate you putting that in me. And it's like, okay, stomach, I won't put any more pig in me. So I can only eat bacon. They also do eggplant parmesan if that's more your thing. So I have trauma with eggplant because my mom was on a health kick once and made eggplant pizza, where you basically use a slice of eggplant for the breading of the pizza. And oh dear gosh, after eating that, like the idea of eating eggplant is just like, no, no, I don't want to eat eggplant. Also, eggplant is a member of the Solanaceae family, the nightshade family. I like growing tomatoes, peppers, and potatoes. Also, all three members of the Solanaceae family. I do not need any more members of the Solanaceae family in my garden, just because I don't want to overcrowd it with a whole bunch of plants from the same plant family. Friday's laid an egg today. She slowed down production. She's 3+ years old. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't work like how I used to. Like, I need a full 8 hours of sleep for me to function and for me to be like, have the energy to do the things I need to do, take care of the things that I need to do. I can't be like, well, I'm not going to be young forever, but I mean, generally speaking, hey, I'm 36, like, still got pretty good levels of energy, still got pretty good levels of health, haven't had too many issues other than having a slight, I wouldn't call it an eye infection, but I think one of the like tear ducts in my like eyelid, it got like real, because my lower eyelid and my right eye got really swollen, and it was like that. And it was like that for like a solid week. But it's cleared up now. Oh, I've had eye infections. That stuff is brutal. I don't think it was like a full eye infection. I think it was like my tear ducts that got like slightly infected. But it's cleared up. And I know it's actually cleared up because I can read chat now. Because last stream I did, the letters did doubles, and I was like, this makes it hard to do what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't like it when it's hard to do the things I'm supposed to be doing. But yeah, it's cleared up. It's been pretty good. So, as far as the health has been here recently, it's been, I mean, past that, it's been alright. I probably should consider consuming less of beverage, but okay, so I went to Costco yesterday, and Costco had their annual stocking of Oktoberfest, and I don't know how to say this, but I purchased too much beer at Costco yesterday. Because I spent about as much on beer at Costco as I did on groceries at Costco. Granted, I did buy, and actually speaking of that Costco trip, so at that Costco trip, they had a Jackery 1500 watt solar generator on sale. It's the season if there was ever gonna be one. Well, like late July, early August is like the kickoff for our Oktoberfest season, and I love Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest is like bar none my favorite beer style. the beer styles I like the most are ones that are easy drinking but have good flavor. Hefeweizen, for instance, is a beer with amazing amounts of flavor. But so is Oktoberfest, and Oktoberfest has that really nice balance to having like some good flavor, but also high drinkability, which honestly, that's part of the point of it, is to be able to drink a lot of it. So it's just the perfect beer for me, and I love it. I don't like super hoppy beers. I mean, I do like an IPA, but I don't want an IPA to be my everyday drinking beer. Like, it's fine here and there. It's just not what I want to drink all the time. I like mid ABV, let's say 6 to 4%, and then like with some good flavor, and that's like the typical beer styles I enjoy. But back to Costco. They had the Jackery 1500 watt solar generator on sale for 600 buckaroonies. And unfortunately, I'm an individual who spends a lot of time on YouTube. And I watch a lot of makers on YouTube. And because I watch makers on YouTube, I get things sold to me a lot. And the Jackery has sponsored videos I have watched, and I'm just like, ooh, sorry. I really like the idea of owning a Jackery. But I have yet to work up the justification for a Jackery. So the big reason why this whole thing was a big tempting deal was Costco said the normal price for this was $7.99, but they cut it down to $5.99, and I'm like, okay, that's a $200 cutback. That makes this product like fairly darn affordable. And then I was like, okay, well, if I were to just buy this from Jackery's website today, what would be the cost? And then Jackery was just like, it's gonna be like $1,000, and I'm like, oh god, it's $1,000 thing for 600 bucks. That's really tempting. That is incredibly tempting. And it is an online deal, and I'm still going to be thinking about it. So if I want to change my mind and like order it off Costco.com, I have that option to do so. But for now I'm going to put it on hold. Funny enough, I'm actually going to go beer drinking with my friend here later today, and I kind of do want to talk to him about it and get his like thoughts and opinions on it. But since I did, so basically I resisted the temptation of the Jackery. And as my treat to myself, I bought some Tomahawk. Well, is it Tomahawk? It's like a really premium dairy brand. I really like their ice cream. But I got a block of their mild cheddar, and then I got some Clubhouse crackers, and I had some fantastic cheese and crackers while I was watching the man, the myth, the legend, the Scrimbo have his 2.0 yesterday, which was really good. And also I think Scrimbo's really cool. So really kind of cool to see that he finally evolved and fully became a male VTuber. It was actually a good way to spend the day, watching that in the afternoon. Okay, so we're 15 minutes in. Well, we've got 15 minutes left here. I'm gonna fire up the kettle. And I've been also catching whiffs of propane. I'm a little bit paranoid about that. Okay. Well, that's good. No propane explosions. Whew. So we're gonna have this at a somewhat lowish heat. And then that's gonna pretty much be like the thing that's gonna happen. Because right now it's just a touch below 160 and we want to get it up to 180. For when we actually want to use the strike water into the mash, but we still got 15 minutes for that, so since I've got this running, honestly, this is okay. It's a bit early in the stream, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit the bathroom because beverages are being consumed and things are gonna get a little bit more active once we actually start doing stuff. So I'm gonna throw on the BRB screen and I will be back after a few. Okay, I am back. And, Bright Eyes has found an ant's nest. That's cool. I gotta say, Mr. Spock, you're doing actually a pretty good job of selling me on the idea of urban chickens. It's just, I would have to have a space for them to, like, roam. And I can't have them roaming in the garden. Might be able to squeeze the side yard, but that also... Wait a second. Do I want... That means I also have to... Wait, if I do the side yard, that means there will be a chicken coop in the front yard, essentially. On one hand, I kind of pissed my neighbors off enough, and I need to be a little bit restrictive on that. Which also, speaking of garden chores I need to get done. Well, I get done at some point is I really have to go through my blackberry rows, and they need to be cleaned up desperately. Granted, honestly, what I should do is at some point when I have like a nice good like batch of fall weathers, just take a week off from work and just spend that entire week working on like cleaning stuff up in the garden, cleaning stuff up around the house, all those fun things. I have the to-do list is unfortunately very scarily long. It is monstrously long. Nice. Can't believe the mash is done. I've already polished off my first beer. So it's still a little bit on the AM side, so we're gonna take it easy. We're gonna be taking it easy, and our next is going to be an athletic, so non-alcoholic beer. Because I still need to keep my wits about me. However, though, I will be throwing the non-alcoholic beer into the best beer koozie of all time. Because I like this beer koozie, because it's so funny. And I do enjoy my funny things. Okay, what is our final... Well, our time is at 8 minutes, so I've got 8 more minutes I have to kill. But yeah, so... Traditionally, when I'm brewing, and I get to the mash... Yeah, you know what I do? Yeah, I just walk away and I just go make food. That's typically what I do if I'm not like actually like streaming the mash, the mashing stage. The mashing stage is like literally the most boring because it's like you set everything up, you make sure you're dialed in, and then you just you look at a cooler for nearly an hour, and then you're just like here. So this is the tedious, boring part. And I keep catching whiffs of propane, and I don't like that. I think it'll be fun, but... Because if nothing happened down there... Because propane's heavier than air. And I also have my garage door open, so... Yeet out there, so... If there was a significant propane leak, it would have space to, like, dissipate. It wouldn't pool. Whereas if you were to have a propane furnace and say there was a leak in the propane line and it was in an enclosed basement space, you would have pockets of propane lying around in the basement, and that is a type of service call I hope I never have to go on, because that's... Like, as an HVAC guy, like, AC season is very much, like, customer wants service now, because, holy smokes, the AC, like, AC is, like, important. Like, I want to sleep tonight. Important. And then, in heating season, it's just like, well, just throw an extra blanket on when you go to bed. Heating season definitely is not as urgent, but yeah, if the furnace is having issues, it could be a bad time. Like the venting could be effed up, which I did actually see a pretty effed up vent on a... So a customer had like an old R22 system, and by like old, like the system was... The equipment was manufactured in '99, so it was definitely old equipment. And yeah, they had a refrigerant leak, and my company doesn't service R22 systems anymore. And so it's like, okay, you get a new system. But while I was like looking through everything else, I put my eyeballs on the vent pipe for the furnace, and I was like, huh, that looks very much like Swiss cheese, and I am scared. So, yeah. That is not only telling the customer, hey, you get new equipment, it is, I'm turning the gasoline off to your furnace so your furnace does not kill you. Oh, wow. That's already over 180. I'm gonna, let's see. I will cut that burner off. I don't know, I got 4 minutes left. Which puts me at a point where I need to worry about next steps. So, mash tun is going to go up here. I might... yeah. We'll go ahead and readjust camera angles a little bit. Just so that way you guys can kind of see a little bit more what's going to be going on in this space. Because this is kind of where the action's going to be happening once we start recirculating the mash. Which, once the mash is done, that is the thing I'm going to be doing. It's going to be recirculating the mash. And as for what that looks like, well, you're about to find out. Well, you're going to find out in about, like, 5 minutes. Granted, I am very thankful for this brew kettle for not heating up my shop too much, because, man, I sure miss... I miss fall weather. I miss cool weather. I am very glad that my location on the rotation has enough warm season to, like, grow crops, but warm season is not the longest season. Because if warm season is longest season, then that kind of just is not fun. Okay. You're steaming a fair bit. Woo! Flame out. So, we've got our strike water heated up. We've got just over 4 gallons of that. And honestly, we are just gonna be chilling for, well, we're gonna be chilling for a little bit until we got 2 minutes left. We got 2 minutes left, so. But yeah, I am, actually speaking of things to talk about, I miss doing the campfire cooking streams. I miss doing them so much, and once I start getting some proper fall weather where I live, we're gonna be going outside, and we're gonna be doing some campfire cooking. As far as for like recipes and stuff, I pulled a couple of because I get magazines from my supermarket. Because my supermarket is like, hey, if we send you recipes for food, then you will come to the supermarket and buy food from us. So it's advertising for them. And you know what? It works. Because it's actually... I do like it because it exposes me to random recipes. Now, granted, I forget where I'm at in the Stardew Valley cookbook. I don't know if I have 1 summer recipe left to do or 2. It's either 1 or 2. I want to say, what was the last recipe I did from that cookbook? I want to say cheese cauliflower? Yeah! It was cheese cauliflower. It was like the last one I did. Okay. Okay. So cheese cauliflower was the last recipe I did. But I think I have 1 or 2 summer recipes to do. And we'll get those done. Well, we'll work on those, and then we'll do the fall recipes. And kind of hopefully work through most of the cookbook. I don't know. I really don't know. Whoa. Stop. Oh, that unnecessarily excited me. Well, spooked me more so than anything. Okay. Ooh, it smells good. And that temperature is kind of low, but reasonable for what we're doing. We'll set you there. You will get set over there. And pardon me, but I have some lifting to do. What? Oh, okay. That actually wasn't too bad. That was not bad at all. I know I only threw like 2.5 gallons in there. Okay, yeah, you know what? That's actually why. That's why. That is why. I just used 2.5 gallons. So, welcome to Mash Out. Welcome to mashing out. Well, actually, technically, we're gonna be doing the recirculating of the wort. By the way, this is my least favorite part, because I do not have a mash pump. But you know what? I also have good flow out of the mash tun. So I do appreciate that. So that's those rice hulls working for us. Because what a stuck spurge is when I open this valve down here, this valve, if I open that valve and stuff doesn't flow, that is a stuck sparge. And stuck sparge is not fun. Now this is actually a fun thing about adding water to the... Another side benefit of adding strike water to the mash tun is not only are you stopping the mashing process, but you're also adding... you're also adding weight. You're also adding additional pressure to your liquid, so it does flow a little bit better. And also, by increasing the volume of liquid, it makes it easier for you to dissolve sugars. So this is essentially what our wort looks like. So we have a fairly light color with a touch of darkness, well, a touch of brown to it. The brown is mainly the caramel malt, coupled with a little bit of the Vienna malt. And I'm actually not seeing a lot of... I'm not seeing too much stuff. So, also, that first... So a lot of this so far has been like really early stuff from the mash tun. So it will typically be darker because in the early stages, so this liquid is called wort. Wort's basically pre-beer. This is pre-beer. So we grab it, take it off. So still pretty same color, but it's lightened up a touch. And the big thing I am very much focused on at this point in the process is looking for floating bits. Floating bits of loose starch, loose grain, stuff like that. It is of the utmost importance that we get all that stuff taken care of. Woo! Now I'm just slinging hot water everywhere. Okay. There we go. We're gonna drop that there. And apply hand to beer, sip beer. Back to process. So, this is actually going reasonably well. I'm not seeing... I haven't really been seeing a lot of what I would call floaty bits. So, as you see, it looks pretty clear. Like, I mean, aside from the color, like, you don't see, like, debris in it. Holy smokes. I wonder if those rice hulls are just pulling double time. So I'm going to open this up a bit more. As you can see, we've got a little bit more of a flow rate here. And I'm just going to keep recirculating this because, like, normally I do this for a fair bit of time. And it takes a while for me to eliminate the floaty bits. So, pull you off. Drop you down. Oh! Wow, that actually looks like it's really starting. I don't know. I don't know if it's lightening up or not. From the side, it looks pretty light. It looks very Hefeweizen-y. But that's the thing, like, I am seeing nothing. Like, I am seeing nothing. This is unreal. Because normally it takes a while for me to filter out all the grain. Like, all the, like, different, like, grainy bits. When I'm doing this. And now... And now this is... It's just looking good. It's looking good. Okay, so this most recent one has... I see 1 to 2 small floating bits. Which is, like, absolutely incredible. You know what? We're gonna be excessive. We're gonna be really excessive. So we're gonna check again. Oh! Don't steam up my glasses. You know what? This is good. This is good. So, I'm gonna let this fill up. I have to get the remainder of that water out of the kettle. And we're gonna start mashing out. And then once we mash out, then we start boil. We start all that process. So, and then we're gonna shut this off slowly. Because if I shut it off slowly... Okay. Then we'll add that in. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Okay. Let me grab my gloves. Because kettle be warm. Because, well, kettle gets warm. So we're gonna add the rest of that water. Kettle goes back. We're gonna turn. And I'm gonna equip this thing. And what this is just basically a piece of small plastic tubing that helps direct it further down into the kettle. Oh yeah! I should be able to get enough mash out of this then. Yes! The mash levels are appropriate. But yeah. So once we get to about a gallon, I'll fire up the kettle. And then that will be... Then we'll start getting the boil going. Because once we get the boil going, then we're going to be able to... Well, the boil is our second instance of this is a process and it takes 1 hour. So, yeah. It is an instance of this takes time. But This is also definitely a little bit more exciting because, well, you know, it's a brewing kettle. Like, it's a touch more exciting than actually. Yeah. There we go. That's a bit better of a shot. And then that's our... So we've got 1 gallon. Let's light this bad boy. And now we're burning propane. So, once we get the hop break and all that, we were also going to be working with our wonderful hops, wonderful hops, wonderful hops. Hops, hops, hops. Please. Please stop having lens glare. But yeah, we got like 1.5 gallons of wort already. Which is good, which is good. Like, and we've got good flow, and I don't even have the bird. I don't have the valve all the way open. Man, that's probably the reason why I really don't deal with too much insects in my garden, is just because of how many birds I have around my homestead. Like, so the funny thing about the cat that visits my house, when I ran into him, he was actually hanging out behind my grapevines. And he was hanging out there for a very strategic reason. And that strategic reason was birds come to the grapevines to get grapes. Cats go to grapevines to get birds. But yeah, hopefully they'll show up at some point. Like, especially when I'm like streaming like outside. It'd be real nice if they were to like swing by and I could like show them off to you guys. Cause you know, we're all people on the internet here. We like cats. We like watching cats do cat stuff. But yeah. I need this. That's going to be very important. Also, I need to make a wooden version of this at some point. Need to get my hands on some good oak for it, though. Granted, it would actually be real fun to, like, make a wort stirring stick out of, like, an old bourbon barrel stave. That's the most cartoonish spatula I've ever seen. Well, this is for stirring beer. It's for stirring beer. You got all these holes that let liquid flow. Ugh. Why is there dickies? Fake dragonflies discourage flies. Fake cats discourage birds, especially a realistic-looking AI robot. Oh man, like, why have, like, fake cat when you can just have a real cat wandering around doing cat stuff? Like, I will take cat doing cat stuff any day. So, I've depleted my beer, and that's a problem that I'm gonna fix after I have some water, because water is important. Hydrate. Hydration is very important. Okay. How about we all have. So I've got myself a Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Does coffee count? I'm on my 4th coffee. Coffee is a hydration. It counts. It does not dehydrate you. Admittedly, tea's in a mixed bag. Wait, tea's in a mixed bag. Oh, that's a pun there. Okay. Tea is in the mixed bag because tea... Hey, Oktoberfest. Yes, sorry. It is... Oh, no. Oh, man. Well, that's a messed up pour. And we're gonna... You're gonna hang out for a little while. There's a cool Japanese channel that shows different Japanese cats. Ooh. The internet just loves cats. Like, I don't know why the internet loves cats so much. My favorite cat is the one in Madoka Magica. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's certainly a cat. That does things. Granted, fun fact. The voice actor for the cat from Madoka Magica, I had brunch with the VA of that character. Because in the long ago forgotten land of Anime Week in Atlanta 2014, that VA with another VA that they were kind of like in an idol unit together with, they came to Anime Week in Atlanta, and Anime Week in Atlanta did a raffle to where you could get a chance to have brunch with the VAs. So me and 4 other guys, so there were like 5 of us, got to have brunch with these 2 voice actors from Japan. And honestly, my favorite part about the experience was me walking up to the breakfast buffet in this hotel and being like, oh hell yeah, Crunchyroll's buying me a meal. that was my big brain thought, was just like, oh hell yeah, I am getting Crunchyroll's paying for food. And then I filled up like my plate with like half fruit because I don't eat like breakfast sausage, because I think I had maybe a mix of, I think my plate was literally half potatoes and half fruit. And when she saw my plate being like mostly fruit, she was like, fruit too. And I just like smiled and awkwardly nodded my head because I'm like, oh god, actual like Japanese people. And like I don't know, I like ultra froze up during that because it was just like I'm not fluent in Japanese. I know a few things, but I feel like I just ultra locked up because I was just also kind of nervous because, well, they're a fairly big VA at that. So cool. Breakfast lasagna is good. Breakfast lasagna, well, lasagna is just good. Lasagna is just amazing. So, the wort level is coming up close to where our tube is. But, and this is also kind of the reason why I put the tube on, is because, wait, Suneka. No, oh, is that how you write watermelon? No, it's Suika. Your middle valve needs to change. You have the E, you need the I, Ari. I don't know if they had Suica. They had green melon, but not like watermelon. Yes. I know that much. But yeah, so we're at the point where we have a nice like slow drip, but we're also at like we're coming up on like 5.5 gallons. Yeah, I didn't know if it was pronounced Suica or Suica. Okay. Yeah. Watermelon is Suica. That's why that wonderful Japanese goblin gets depicted with watermelon so much, because that's her name. Actually, so funny enough, speaking of watermelon, I actually got tipped in watermelon. Well, actually, my company. We were doing an install for a customer, and we were doing a whole bunch of like crawl space work. You can probably guess what episode of Dr. Stone I'm up to. Wait. Are you like in the early Dr. Stone, or are you in the like later Dr. Stone? Like, are you like in first season? Gosh, that was so long ago. Granted, it's good to hear you're watching Dr. Stone, because Dr. Stone is a very good show, and I love Dr. Stone a lot. I think okay. Andrew and I started binging it. Nice, very nice. Funny enough about Dr. Stone, Dr. Stone is actually based off a book. Well, it's inspired by a book. And I read this book, I was a big fan of this book, and then Dr. Stone comes out, and then I get a couple episodes into Dr. Stone, I'm like, wait a second. And when Senku talks about the 4 uses of calcium carbonate, I go, wait a second. I'm getting the knowledge vibes from this anime, and I looked into it a little bit, and funny enough, Dr. Stone is actually fairly heavily inspired by the book The Knowledge by Lewis Dartnell. That's the book on how to rebuild civilization, right? Yes, that is the Civilization Reboot Manual, which I still need to get my hands on a physical copy of that book. It's just every time I read it, which I do make it a point to read that book at least once every 2 years or so, because I like that book. And it's also, I don't know, it just feels like a good idea nowadays to just every 2 years refresh your knowledge base on how to rebuild civilization, because boy oh boy do people like to do scary things. And it's just like, oh, come on guys, like, can't we just treat each other like people deserving of like respect and such? Can't we just play nice and get along? Like, really, do we have to be this confrontational? Okay, so I have a trickle now. And I'm getting close to that 5.5 gallons. Like, funny thing is, I thought I was being generous with my strike water, but I think I'm gonna end up at just the right amount level, so, which is okay. But so, as you can see, the foam is thickening. Yeah, and with this foam thickening, this means we are getting closer and closer to the magical point in brewing called hot break. Hot break is essentially is when this boil actually really starts getting going. And that's actually when the kettle actually starts to like really boil. Speaking of confrontational, Clancy this morning had the zoomies, and then Kimchi surprised him around the corner and scared the shit. See, that's the type of confrontationalism that is good. That's good. Because that's funny. That's funny. It's funny seeing cats be silly cats. But when you just want to, like, you know, do stuff on the international stage and being a massive, bully about it, that's just not, it's like, bro, that's not cool. Bro, not cool. Like, our ability to solve our problems is enhanced by the number of people we get involved in helping to solve the problem. I.e., work with people, not against the people. And I think that's probably about as far as I can go on that. And staying in safe water. Granted, I don't know why, but it also makes me think of, oh yeah, my mom hasn't named her 2 kittens yet. Do you think I should tell her to name them Scooby and Dooby? I mean, Scooby and Dooby is, like, 2 good names. Ooh, oh, this might be benign. This one might be a little bit benign. But I do think Scooby and Dooby are good names. Especially as someone who actually grew up with, like, old school Scooby-Doo and then got Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. And holy smoke, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is such a good movie. Been neat. Wait. Linky Link showed up late again this morning, belly wet from tall grass, went right to bed. Without eating. Bening. Wait. Bening from... Okay, brain is not brain. But okay, so the hot break is being somewhat reasonable. Because normally this foam's a lot more, like a lot more. Like I have to like ultra babysit this thing. Do lots of stirring. I think she needs to travel further for food. Honestly, judging by the cat that's been in my neighborhood that I've given treats to a couple times, that cat is very food motivated. Easy food? Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh dearie. Oh dearie. Oh dearie. Oh dearie. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, break it, break it, break it, break it. Aren't we all a little food motivated? Yes, yes, I am food motivated. Ooh, big boy, big foam, big foam, big foam bad. We want little foam. Yep, it's foam time. It's a foam time. Foam time's not a fun time. Not in brewing. Come on, come on. Better, 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 better. More well-behaved, more well-behaved. Let's keep going, let's keep going. Ow! Wait! Bad beer. Bad. Bad. Behave. No, 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 no. Don't be rising like bread on me. You're liquid bread. You're not solid bread. You don't rise. Bad. What if you put a mixer on top to stir automatically? That honestly doesn't seem like fun. I like having this conversation with beer. So it's being reasonable. It's being very reasonable. Also, if I were to throw a mixer on this, it would literally be one more thing for me to clean up. Like, this thing is very easy to clean up. And I am a mixer with all the dudes. Considering how much I find bread to be challenging, I should probably invest in a mixer at some point. Oi, 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 oi. Don't appreciate this. I don't want to be seeing all this white stuff. Come on, beer. Show me what you got. Show me your work. Oh, okay. Less white stuff, more brown stuff. That's what we want. Oh. Okay. You want some head pats? I'll give you some head pats. There you go. Don't you just love the positive reinforcement? Mixer, I hardly know her. Okay, I can get back to work and finish running the sticky paper that smells like rotten fish. Okay, Ari. You have a good work. I'm gonna have a good beer. Ideally. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And it's... My work feels like straight out of Looney Tunes. Oh, is it Acme Corp? Okay. Man, I just love sticking my nose into a packet of hops and just giving it a big whiff. Okay. I'm gonna throw just a couple of hops, and then... Because guess what happens when you throw a bunch of hops into a beer? The foam increases. And that's normal, but that's to be expected. So we're going to be going in with a full hop addition. So I will want to throw all these hops in here. However, though, I like to stage this. I like to do this slowly, not quickly. Because, as we see, we have lots of hops here floating. Okay. We are now 100% committed. We are committed to the bit and the beer. I mean, it's being reasonably benign. It's just... I'm gonna turn down the I'd turn down the propane a touch. We'll see what that does for us. See if it... Because sometimes if it seems like it's just being a touch too aggressive, that's something you would want to try doing, is to turn down the propane. But yeah, we're now standing over a boiling cauldron of wort. Eventually, it will become known as beer. But for now, it is wort. So cheers. Boy. Don't make me get the stir stick. And I am seeing a nice mix between bubbles and hops versus just solid hops. As you see, the bubbles bring the hops up, and then the hops are also like helping to to pop the bubbles, because the areas that you see become greenest are also the ones that sink. That's actually really fascinating. Yeah. The areas where the hops get most concentrated are the ones where they're popping the most bubbles. You know what? I think I should turn this down more. Just give it a touch of a turn down and we'll see what we come up with. Yeah, but it's almost like the weight of the hops actually is like the thing that bursts the bubble. So we're at 5.5 gallons of wort, which is good. And I just like to scrape those hops off the side, because I want to make sure the hops spend plenty of time in contact with the wort, so that way the wort picks up the bearing components of the hops. So, but yeah. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I screwed up. I didn't start a timer. Because I feel like we've been doing this for a while. I don't know if we've been here for like 10 minutes doing this or 15. You know what? Screw it. We'll call it. We'll call it 50 minutes. Give or take a few minutes. So yeah. Ideally, this does not boil over. If it boils over, well, then the sides of my pot become very sticky. And I don't like it when the sides of my pot get very sticky. But I'm going to be doing some tipping of the mash tun. I tip of the mash tun because I wish to get more liquid out of the mash tun. Because one, this liquid still has sugar in it, and two, I am going to lose a fair amount of liquid volume in this kettle merely due to the boiling process. So by getting as much liquid out of the mash tun into the kettle, that helps me like preserve as much volume as I can, because I wish to preserve volume. Because then I make less beer. You're filling from the orange thing into it 20 minutes ago? 20 minutes ago. Okay, thank you, Mr. Spock. So I'll call it... We've been having the boil going, I guess, for probably about close to 15 minutes. So we'll work with that in terms of determining our boil time. Honestly, boil time... Actually, wait a second. Boil time actually starts with the adding of the hops. So we'll call this like 50 minutes. I'll say I spent like 10 minutes fiddling with the boil, making sure nothing bad was happening there. But hey, you know what? This is actually what the boil should normally look like. This is what a normal boil should look like. Is like this. You have a small bit of foam, and basically that foam is just dancing on one side, dancing back and forth on one side to the other side of the brew kettle as the boil is occurring. So I have a very, very, very small stream. I'm curious. Okay, well, there's still sugar. Not a lot of sugar, but there is sugar. It's slightly sweet. It's not super sweet, but it's slightly sweet. So this is gonna get a little... Like, right now we're kind of splitting hairs, because we're just trying to... Like, I'm mostly just trying to preserve volume of the wort for the duration of the boil. And I want to check this. Okay. So that guy is looking pretty good. Funny enough, as soon as I stop that, my boil wants to act up. So maybe I might have to dial it back. That seems like a good option. And also, I'm, once again, like, a lot of the adjustments are small adjustments, not big adjustments. Big adjustments are, like, aggressive, random. So I'm not trying to, like, super do anything. Oh, wow. So we got a small stream there. And now it starts to act like it actually is acting like how it wants to behave. Oh. That is a thing I need to be careful about, is sending the mash tun into the wort. Okay. Where did... Oh, there you went. So let's go ahead and scrape these off. I'm also just genuinely interested where... Oh, okay. That's actually pretty good. So it looks like we're at 6.5 gallons, so... Well, not 6.5, 5.5. So probably a touch short, but... The thing... So, fun fact with Hefeweizen is Hefeweizen, flavor-wise, does not keep very well. One of the downsides of Hefeweizen. So, since it doesn't want to keep very well, hey, if I end up with like 4.8 gallons of Hefeweizen, that's fine with me. I don't need a whole bunch of Hefeweizen. So, we have officially entered into the afternoon hours. We have ourselves a good healthy boil. It's time for the Warsteiner Oktoberfest. So this is an actual Oktoberfest from Germany. These cans are absolutely adorable because these are metric cans. And I can actually feel the difference ever so slightly. Ooh, okay. A lot more reasonable of a pour, and that's a lot more reasonable of head to liquid. So, just kind of a side by side. Slightly different. What's the... I know how much you are in Imperial. Oh, okay. So, this is 330 milliliters, 4.2, well, 11.2 fluid ounces. Whereas this is 12 fluid ounces, 3 355 milliliters, so. How much of a milliliter difference? 25 There's a 25 milliliter difference between these. Which in freedom units equates to 0.8 ounces. So, cheers. Woo! Okay. So, we've got work going. That's great. We're gonna be a little bit extra here. Oh. So we're gonna start getting some water. Where are... Oh. There you are. So this is gonna be my fermenter. And what I'm wishing to do here is I'm going to go ahead and get my sanitizer going. So I'm adding water to it now. And I'm going to want 2.5 gallons of water into this container. Okay. So that's pretty close to our 2.5 gallons. So to make our sanitizer, I have good old Star San. So for these bottles, what you do is you give them a nice good squeeze. And then what happens is liquid goes up this tube on the side into this magic container. Oh, bird. And then you have two measures. You got a 1/2 ounce measure and a full ounce measure. So we've got our 1/2 ounce measure. So you'll take the cap off your measure. And then that is how you're able to measure out your Star San. Now I have to get a child safe lock back on here. Is that good? Yeah, that feels good. Good. Yay, no leaking, because this stuff is messy. And that's putting that mildly at that. There you are. So we're gonna stir the Star San in there. And you know you have good Star San when you have a nice foam. And that's the sanitizer. So this is going to be the fermenter. This is where the beer is going to go after we're done at the kettle. So this is where our beer is going to sit. It's going to ferment and become a happy beer. Now, this is a wort chiller. It's basically a whole bunch of copper tubes that gets wound in a round fashion. And as you can see, Kind of looks a little bit cruddy, you know? Well, it's kind of what the star sand's for. So if you give it a few dips in the star sand and then pull it out again, you can see it starts to shine up a fair bit. That's kind of what we want. That is going to help. It's going to help take care of those copper oxides. So this goes off to the side. Now I find a 5-gallon bucket. That isn't full of sawdust. Because I have tons of 5-gallon buckets, but 5-gallon buckets without sawdust are the rare ones. The rare ones. Okay, so let's see if we can get any more liquids out of the mash tun. Use isopropyl alcohol to sterilize stuff. Ah, okay. Yeah, I go with star sand because that's like the traditionally recommended beer brewing. Like, it's the stuff commonly available. And like, hey, I just made up like 2.5 gallons of sanitizer. That's a lot of sanitizer. I can only imagine how expensive that would be if it was isopropyl alcohol. Because I think that container of star sand probably costs like 20 some odd dollars. And that's for 16 ounces. And I use a ½ ounce per beer I brew. So $20 is basically enough sanitizer for like 30 some odd batches of beer. Granted, I've also been doing some adventuring into other alcohols, so I also have like other alcohols that I'll need sanitizer for. So, but that makes the sanitizing cost per batch like less than $1, which is cheap. And cheap is good. Well, cheap works out. Cheap, making things reasonably affordable makes it easier for me to do this more often. So, I have a bucket down here. You guys are about to see what the inside of this guy looks like. I just spray a bit and wipe it down, don't use much. Oh, okay. So I like to consider my usage of my sanitizer fair. A lot of it seems to be like, some people recommend actually using like full 5-gallon batches to sanitize a fermenter. Honestly, I've gotten good results with just 2.5-gallon amounts of sanitizer. So, since that's what works for me, I'm fine with that. So, we're gonna adjust, you guys. Slightly change that angle just a touch there. So, hey, look there. Hey, look. There's just wort bubbling, doing wort stuff. Over here is the mash tun. This is the mash after, which actually we need to go a touch further down. Touch further down. There we go. There we go. A little bit. But yeah, that's mash. This is the mash done. Now the grayness to it. That's actually like the fine grainy bits that were present in suspension in the mash. So I have a 5-gallon bucket here. Kind of see it. It's the blue bucket right at the bottom of the screen. So this is a big thing I try to get done while the brew kettle's doing its thing, and that is empty the mash tun. So I'll grab my scoopers, and then I'll just empty out the mash tun. Because I tried to be efficient. And by be efficient, when it comes time to chill the wort, I'm gonna take the water that comes out of the wort chiller that you just saw, and it's gonna go into here. And this is gonna give me a huge vat of hot water. I'm gonna use that vat of hot water to clean all this equipment when I'm done. But I can't use this as a reservoir until I get all this malt. So this is actually called spent malt. And Mr. Spock, if I had urban chickens and I threw this spent malt into their chicken run, those chickens would absolutely lose their mind. They would lose their mind. They'd just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna get fat today. And actually, I know some of the local breweries near me, they will actually like ship the spent malt to a farm. So in Louisville, Kentucky, there's a brewery called Apocalypse Brewworks. And I know Apocalypse sends their spent grains to a farm to feed cattle. And I think West 6 out of Lexington does the same. As for the other breweries, I don't really know. The thing is I'm not industry, so I have a very limited amount of knowledge on that. I only know the information that has been made publicly available. Ooh, oh. Okay, that's fine. I can live with that. Oh. There we go. Then I gave it some good shakes, and the purpose of those shakes was to concentrate all the stuff this way. Closer to me. Easier to clean. Because if we have some of this floaty bit stuff in here for cleaning water, that's fine. But too much is a problem. And I want to make sure I get as much of it out as I can. So this time, I shook everything to one side of my strainer. That strainer is also what keeps all the grain from plugging up the spigot. Okay. Not too much left. But generally speaking, if you can get like chores, other like brewing related chores done while you have a beer process happening, that will help you out a lot in efficiency, because it's hot. This stuff's hot. It's at 180 degrees, so. But that's reasonably clean. That's clean enough for me to not worry about. So I kick the spent malts off to the side. That goes down to there. You guys get to look at the brewing kettle of brewing this, I guess. As for me, I have an exceedingly messy hand that I'm going to wipe down with a nearby rag. But that clears out the mash tun, and that's going to become a reservoir for hot water once we actually start wanting to chill this down, because we're going to eventually chill this down. Let's check timing. Okay, so we're... Actually, wait a second. Yeah, we're basically just over the halfway mark of the boil, so... Another 420. Okay, sir, you have your 420. I have my beer. Cheers to you, sir. Mr. Spock has his 420. Sugi Yamagawa has his beer. And at the end of the day, we're both happy guys living good lives. And really, at the end of the day, that's like the most you can ask for, is like to have a good day, having fun, which, by the way, do I want to do this now? Honestly, I think you got the better deal. Pavilion response. What, the beer? Ah, come on. And actually, I'm going to touch this a bit that way. Okay. And then I actually need to do a thing, which I don't know if this will work out. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Can I, like, eliminate? Contain. Okay, so if I add this, I should. Okay. So, short form. Short form? Short form. Okay. Okay. And wait a second. Oh, wait, you can just edit those. Okay. We're going to edit those. Okay. So give me a minute here to, I am nearing 200 subscribers, and I'm thinking for the 200 subscriber celebration, one of the things I want to do is I want to make a shop tour. And for the shop tour, what I'm essentially debating is how long should it be? Actually, wait a second, I forgot. I need tour. Oh. Ooh, yay. Tour video. Do you guys hunger? Because this is actually a question I do wish to ask everyone. Video or a order? Okay. Da da da. Where's that? How do I? Oh no! It's not letting the option be selectable. Oh, okay. My question's too long. Oh, okay. How short does this need to be? Okay. Wow, YouTube doesn't really give you some... Okay. I think you got 18 plus minutes. So, the poll is live. Make your voices heard. So yeah, so for 200 subscribers, I was thinking about doing a shop tour. Mostly because, one, I want to do something for 200 subscribers, but also two, because especially seeing how much my shop's changed just this year, I really want to take a snapshot of the shop as it exists today. So because that's something I want to look back on. And so with the long form video, you'll get more like, hey, here's what I'm doing with the space, here's how the space ended up here, maybe a little bit more details into the organization, and possibly what I am planning for the future of that space. And then I'm gonna go basically all around the shop and just be like, okay, this, I want it to look like this eventually. This other thing, I want it to look like that eventually, and like so on and so forth. I've had a lot of fun doing this. Like, sincerely and truly, like, I have had such an incredible amount of fun being a VTuber, and I definitely am going to be doing this for like a longer period of time. I definitely want to continue doing this, and man, to just think that like I am like this, like I am like one subscriber away from like 200 is just like incredible. Like it's like some people probably think this is a small number. And it's like, you need sponsored? Oh. The humidity is increasing. Maybe Blue Chew? Oh, no. No. I do not need sponsors. Like, you, Mr. Spock, like people coming in, regularly chatting, you guys make this more than worthwhile. I don't need any sponsorship. I don't need to sell you guys anything. I don't need to do any of that. But to be in the top 50, the top 50% of YouTube channels, you need to have like close to 250 subscribers. So the way I look at things is like, I am very close to being in that top 50% of YouTubers, and that's, to think I could get to that point. Like, I didn't know any content creators getting into this. I had basically zero connections, but to just on my own figuring this dumb stuff out and to get to this point is just, it's been a journey, and it's been a good journey. Like I'm very happy that I've gotten to this point, and it's been a good journey. And I've got to do a lot of things I've wanted to do. I have gotten to grown in a lot of ways I've wanted to. And there's more to go. There's so much more. Like, Chuck's, like, last woodworking stream was my most recent time actually working with hardwood, and a fair amount. And not necessarily like a lot of hardwood, but, you know, like a fair little bit of it. And it's like, I don't have a lot of experience with hardwood, and I wish to change that. I wish to grow. How about Sugi bungee jumping in New Zealand? Okay, so I will say New Zealand is definitely a place I wish to visit. I also wish to visit Australia. My favorite animal is the emu. I have to go to the homeland of the emu at some point. But yeah. I mean, honestly, like, New Zealand sounds like a really cool place to visit. And then Australia is also really cool to visit. But so the thing is, I certainly wouldn't mind doing that. It's just, yeah, I'm probably going to be gone for a while, and I probably won't stream for like a few weeks because of it. But I still have to go to Japan. I still have to do the Japan trip because, well, you know, weeb. Gotta go there. Gotta do the things. Gotta, like, visit places, look at all the cool things, and do all that fun stuff. And then I can start thinking about other international travel, which, outside Japan, Australia, New Zealand is pretty high on the list. Definitely top 5. Europe, because really it's Japan, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Those are like the top 3 places I wish to eventually go. And some people might be like, why are you going to be going to Europe? And it's like, what I like to do in my free time? I like to make beer. I wish to go to the place that is really good at making beer. I want to go to Germany. I want to go to the... I don't know if I'll be able to end up in Norway. I kind of want to go to Norway because Norway seems very cool, but is also the home brewing capital of Europe, so I hear. So Norway is like really tempting, but I don't actually know if I will actually get the chance to, like, I don't know if there's like enough in Norway to justify going there, because Japan has the most vending machines per capita. Yes. And I can get alcohol out of those vending machines. Some of them. There are some vending machines that will dispense alcohol, so. But there's a lot of, like another thing I really do wish to, like, really partake of when I go to Japan is the public transportation. Like, that is literally going to be the first thing on my mind once the plane lands in Japan. And just thinking about, once I exit this plane, my ability to get to so many places is going to be powered by trains. I'm just going to be like, oh, yes, this is true civilization, using trains for things. They even have vending machines that dispense vending machines. It's like a bread maker. Okay. Ooh, okay. So, sweet. We got less than 15 minutes in this. And grab. Let me shake off my work chiller. And we're gonna get this bad boy in here. So that is our work chiller. And it's gonna chill out in the brew kettle. Actually, yes. So I also have I mean, the recipe doesn't call for it, but I'm just gonna add a pinch of Irish malts. Irish malts is basically I think it's technically a kelp. versus an actual moss, but it basically helps clarify a beer. So we're just going to add a really small amount of that. And that's going to help clear up the beer. So that's going to help any of the solids settle out of the beer. But yeah, like there's, like I want to like take trains everywhere. I want to like enjoy nature. I just want to experience the quote unquote otaku holy land. Now, funny enough, I'm not going to be super interested in Akiba. I will spend one day in Akiba. I will set aside one whole day just for Akiba and just go full weed. Apparently Japan has vending machines that dispenses live crabs. Fascinating. I'm not a crab guy. I'm not a seafood guy. So, granted, that's also... So that's actually going to be the challenge of Japan is I don't eat seafood. I don't like chicken. And I also don't like, generally speaking, pork products unless it's bacon. That is going to be a... Also, I don't like eggs. I'm not an egg guy, which is literally the reason why I don't actually have urban chickens. If I was an egg fiend, if I could just destroy omelets for breakfast every day, beef is expensive in Japan. Yes, but so incredibly worth it. But I'm probably going to be mostly eating... I'll be leaning vegetarian and probably into some beef, maybe bacon dishes. I don't know. That's going to be the that's going to be the biggest challenge in Japan. Is just food. Food's going to be a challenge. Just because I'm like so not on team seafood. That is going to be my challenge. But, and also speaking of beef, and expensive beef at that, when I was in Chicago for the trip I was on earlier this year, I went to, so me and my friend group went, seafood is awesome. I'm sorry, Mr. Spock, but I can't join you in that assessment. Like, I understand why there are people who like seafood, but for me, it's just not the thing for me. So in Chicago, we went to a Japanese place. I think it was called JoJo. I think it literally was called JoJo, or it's like Johto. Might have been Johto. But that place had gyoza, but gyoza made with grade A5 Wagyu beef. I think I paid like $21 for like 5 dumplings. Those 5 dumplings were phenomenal. Personally, I thought I spent a lot of money for the amount of food. But holy smokes, that food was good. Like, it was like really, really good. Bacon wrapped scallops. I mean, the thing with that is it sounds good. Like the smell of seafood. I'm just like, no, Nova Scotia lobster. Nova Scotia has tides like nobody's business. Shucks, I think there's actually a bay in Nova Scotia where, like, when the tide changes from like low to high, like the water level changes like 40 something feet or something. Like it is crazy. Buttered lobster. I've heard buttered lobster is really good. But yeah, I'm just not on team. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not on team seafood. I'm on team cheese though. I will die on team cheese. I'll take so many bullets for Team Cheese. I will defend cheese with my life. Which, I think that's probably what I'll do for lunch after this, is I'll have cheese and crackers, because calamari. Yeah, it's certainly restrictive to know which ingredients that you do or do not like, but I kind of do like the restriction because it gives me less choices I have to make. I have less choices in terms of like the things that I'm like actually like interested in. And yeah, those restrictions actually do play out to my advantage in some ways. Like, they help me not like well, actually, here's the thing. They help me not have decision paralysis. Because if I had smoked oysters and cheese on crackers, oh goodness gracious, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Granted, I genuinely cannot believe how good time we're making, because holy smokes, because we're like at the 3 hour, because we're coming up on 3 hours, and the boil is nearing being done, which I'm actually below 5 gallons right now because I've just lost so much water to just the boiling process, but that's normal. And also, even though the shop's at like 78, it's not like everyone likes a tuna sandwich. I am not on fan tuna sandwich. I like veggie sandwiches. Actually, yeah, that was still the most recent video I did on the channel, was male VTuber makes a veggie sandwich with tater tots, which was phenomenal, by the way. Like, adding presto to the bread and then building a veggie sandwich on that. Granted, I also will... So, I will enjoy a good BLT. I can eat bacon. I can enjoy a good BLT. BLTs are good. I can have that. Well, I can willingly consume that. It's just I have, like, the most... like, my list of food... like, my list of food and, like, self-imposed food restrictions is so weird. If I'm, like, going to a thing and they're like, hey, what are your food preferences? I just tell them I'm vegetarian to keep it simple. Because that's literally the simple answer. This is just tell them I'm vegetarian. Okay. So, I've been hydrating a bit. Been drinking a fair bit. I'm going to go ahead and before we start chilling work, I am going to hit the restroom. So I'm going to throw the BRB screen on and I will be back here shortly. Okay, I am back. The boil's about to finish up. But before we get this boil finished up, I'm gonna replenish my beer. Because, you know, you gotta have plenty of beer. So, once again, this is gonna be a Sam Adams Oktoberfest because for some reason, when Costco sells the Sam Adams Oktoberfest, they sell it in 28 count cases versus the 24 count cases. Well, hello. Thank you for letting me know we're done. Okay, so we've had our hour of boil. I'm gonna pour this beer. There we go. There we go. That's a reasonable amount of head there. Okay, let's do the flame out. Oh. So, that's flame out. As you can see, we stopped the flamey flames, and the boil has ended. So now, I am now attaching one end of my wort chiller, my hose. And essentially what's going to happen is cold water goes in, hot water comes out. And initially this water will be quite hot. Like nearly boiling hot. It's very warm water. Actually, we're going to just do this number because I don't care. So, by throwing water on the side, and it's steaming like that, that basically really helps chill the pot down. Because right now, the only wort that's being chilled is the wort in contact with the chiller. And as long as I don't get too much water on the ground, I'm fine. I don't worry. Like, a little bit of water on the ground's fine. Like, too much is a problem, but a little bit is fine, so. And also doing this while it's hot just helps. Admittedly helps clean. And I think that's probably going to be about the that's going to be the most I'm going to do of that. So, all that steam is boiling water. Boiling water means, well, water is going from a liquid to a gas. And when it does that, it takes heat away. Now my ceiling will probably not appreciate the amount of moisture it's being exposed to, but whatever. I gotta find the... Because one pipe is cold, because this pipe is cold, that pipe is hot. Because of the temperature of the wort. Because right now we're still above, like above 180. But I will go ahead and pull my yeast packet out for now and set it off to the side. So that way it can gradually warm up. It can go from the cooler temperatures of the cooler to the temperatures closer to what it's going to experience as it's fermenting. So we'll see what we do. Liquid oxygen on the outside and liquid hydrogen through the copper tube cool it quicker. Yes, but that stuff is very expensive. Whereas the stuff I'm using here is essentially tap water. I mean, yeah, I could use liquid nitrogen or something, but that is expensive. Actually, wait a second. Where are you? I'm actually curious to see if this works. Oh, there's the manual. Okay. Big boom. Yeah. Well, yes. Liquid oxygen and liquid nitrogen be big boom. Okay. So this is this is my handy dandy thermometer, infrared thermometer. Apparently the side of the brew kettle is in the hundreds. I was actually expecting it to be higher. And then the wort. Yep, the wort is definitely interesting how it's cooler because I threw water on it. So that's actually a good thing. So if the sides of the fermenter are cooler than what the wort is, then that means this part's cool. Oh yeah, that's actually reason I can touch that. So, and also I'm going to be doing a lot of stirring during this process. So that way I can keep mixing the wort and keeping the temperature even. I'm also curious of the propane tank. Because the propane tank's been running during this entire time, but it's still reasonably close to like air temperature. Oh, some of the lower parts of the... I do like this tool though. I thought you had to cool it quickly. Oh, no. You can take your time with this. Like, you can easily like, you want to be reasonably quick with cooling it, but you can, like, honestly, like, as long as you do it in like a half hour or so, you're gonna be fine. Like, you wanna, because as you cool the wort, you make the wort vulnerable to microorganisms being able to do their thing in it. Because essentially what you do when you make beer is you make a concentrate, you have a sugary liquid, which any organism will want to like hop in there and like do its thing massively. And you wanted, I thought it crashed out the sediment. Yes and no. So for the sediment, I do a lot of stirring, especially when I'm pulling out, which, holy smokes. I seriously did lose some volume on this, but I want the sediment to pool into the center with the stirring. But cold crashing is actually a thing where you take an already fermenting beer and you chill it, and then you do your process from there. So, for example, for the Oktoberfest I bottled yesterday, Friday evening, I took the fermenter and threw it in the fridge. So the fermenter went from like the 70 some odd degree, like 70-ish, like right around 70 degrees of my basement, to the 40 some odd degrees of the refrigerator. And when it went from that higher temperature to that lower temperature, That's called a cold crash. And cold crashing is what will cause a lot of like floaty bits, like kind of what you're seeing here, settle out of suspension. Granted, all the floaty bits you essentially see here are hops that we've added to this beer. But yeah, it's definitely chilling down. We're definitely we're moving in the right direction. Because right now it's at 140 degrees Fahrenheit, so for me personally, I really try to get this to like 80, if not a little bit past that. Sometimes it's hard to do because my, like, let's see. Oops. So, actually, wait a second. I have a device. Whoa, that device is wrong. Okay. So those are the temperatures of the brass connecting the water. Now, I know the water's at a cooler temperature than that, but for now, these are the temperatures I'm working with. So because of that, I have to deal with... I can only get... like, getting this down to 80, but going past 80 is typically very difficult for me. This is essentially the issue. Because going past 80 involves having significantly colder temperatures. Now, if this was winter, I would probably have my garage door all the way open. I would have like 40 some odd degree air in here, whereas right now it's like 78 degrees air is the temperature of the air in here, so a fair bit warmer. But if I had a colder environment, I could get this a bit colder, especially much quicker. But for now, I have what I have, and I have to make do. But I'm still also filling up the... Actually, put you down a touch. You have to deal with legs, deal with it, but... So I'm still filling this, which, by the way, this should be at a good temp. So the water, 123. Outside of the brew kettle, 85. Brew itself, 120. Yeah, about 120. So yeah. So still a little bit too hot for most microorganisms, but we're gonna keep chilling it because our yeast because most yeast will die above 105. So you really want to get it down below 105. That's the temperature where your yeast can actually like take the environment they're in, temperature wise. Shucks. But the closer you get it to your ideal temperatures, the happier the yeast will be. So, you really want to work on getting your temperatures to where the yeast are going to be happiest and focusing in on that. But a lot of the time, it usually just takes so long. That's usually the issue, is like, because we're at like 120 here, going with a target of 80. Yeah, these 40 degrees between 120 and 80 takes so long. It's a bit of a long process, but hey, I am wrapping up. I am gonna easily notch this brew day in under 3 hours and 30 minutes, which is quick. I don't know what about because usually these brew days come in at around the 4 hour mark. Holy smokes, the Memorial Day brew day was over 4 hours. It was nearly 4.5 hours. That was the Memorial one. And that was the most recent. Before that, the Kolsch. The Kolsch was almost 5 hours. What was I doing? Oh, udon soup night. That was good. That was a really good campfire. Wait, am I? Wait, what? This is wait. Is this my third beer? Okay, so I did do an amber ale stream. And that was at 3 hours and 40 minutes. So, I can't believe this is actually like this is my third beer brewing stream this year. I feel like I normally do more. You're getting behind, Sugi. It's one beer every 15 minutes. Oh, God. No, I'm not doing one beer every 15 minutes. One beer every 15 minutes puts me on the floor. And not just on the floor, but on the floor comfortably. Comfortably on the floor. Okay, so this is filling up. It's to the point where it's like still kind of warm. And then this. So I have a magic piece of PVC. Sorry, it's right at the edge of the view. But this piece of PVC goes out to the, well, outside. This is my drain. This is my drain. This is how I drain off the warmed water from the wort chiller. But yeah, one beer every 15 minutes? Oh, hell no. Chucks, I think drinking one beer an hour for the better part of the day is drinking a lot of beer. One beer every 15 minutes is a lot of beer. Like a lot of beer. Too much beer. No. But yeah. So we're still, thermometer here says we're still over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The outside of the kettle is still 80 to 90. Granted, funny enough, there's some parts that are over 100. And then if we come in here, top of the wort. We're looking at 105. So starting to really get close to that point where if we were to add our yeast to this, the yeast would be able to survive. But we don't want surviving yeast. We want thriving yeast. We want yeast to get in there and do their best job ever. So this needs to chill down a bit more. I know I said 80 earlier, but honestly, if I get sub 90, I'll be happy. Wait a second. There we go. Oh gosh. Okay, so fun thing I just realized just now is the hose for the wort chiller. So this hose, some of this hose was in here. This is hot water. So if the water coming in, that is tap water, goes through this, it pre-warms it. And it causes this to be less effective. So good on me for catching that. So that's gonna help me increase the chilling efficiency by not piping my water through hot water. So, good job there. But also, this is still just the... Welcome to beer brewing. It is doing a thing, waiting a while, doing another thing, waiting a while. That is what brewing beer is all about. It is exercising patience when you want to do things. And at the end of the day, what it all comes down to is enjoying a beer while respecting the process. It is terribly important to respect the process. Like, the process is the way it is for a reason. And you just gotta, like, live with it. Granted, I'm looking forward to some lunch after this. Like, there's a part of me that really wants to do some lunch after this. Oh, wow. I thought I would have already seen the water already make its way towards, like, more towards the garden. But it's yet to do so. Well, it looks like we're getting close to 100. Ooh, yeah. So, oh, we got a few 70s here. Okay, okay. So if the kettle's at 70, that is so the kettle, the outer wall of the kettle is definitely at the temperature we want. I now have to just get the rest of this to the temperature I want. Wow, 80 something? Where's my... That is my inlet. That is my inlet. Why is my inlet like that high? Because my outlet is like 80, 90 something. But my inlet's like 90, and I'm like... I'm starting to not trust this guy. Because that's the outlet. Like, that's supposed to be the temperature of the outgoing water. And that's like... Actually, what's the brass doing? You know what? I think the air is affecting it. Because the brass should not be that warm. But yeah, that's the inlet temperature on the brass. It feels cool to the touch. Darn you, Klein. Build better tools, damn it. Granted, I also suspect the air temperature is throwing that off, but that is merely a suspicion. Nothing I can either confirm nor deny. Now, another thing I will also do during this period of time is I'll start cleaning up. Like, I'll take my lighter, walk over here. Oh, wait, and also speaking of cleaning up, I actually need to grab... I need to grab a glass carboy. So, one moment. Okay, so I have that because that's actually where the sanitizing fluid is going to go into once I get this chilled down. Speaking of chilled down, what do we got? 90? Sub 90? Okay, sub 90 is fine. I will take sub 90 wort. But I do wish to make sure it's actually like sub 90. Like this cannot be too far past 90 degrees, because if it's too far over 90 degrees, it will be too warm when I send the yeast in, and the yeast will be uncomfortable. And I don't want to do that to the yeast. I want to make sure the yeast are pitched into a comfortable environment, so. But we are at essentially really close, like really close, so I think I'll give this a few more minutes of the wort chiller. And after that, it'll be good. It will be good. And then I can take this wort, send it into my fermenter, and then with that, I can pitch my yeast. It is now legally, it will then be legally beer, and then I have to just button everything up, and then I can just be like, oh, thank God I'm done. Because that's beer brewing for you. It's just work. But you get beer out of it. So it's like... fun work. Ugh. So let me get the... let me get the sanitizer out of the fermenting bucket. With a siphon. Woo. And then once that finishes up, we'll call the work good. And we'll do that. We'll do other parts of the process. But for now, I must remain here. Granted, I am looking forward to having a bit of lunch. I'm getting hungry, man. Boy, now. But yeah, the joys of brewing beer. It's a process, but it's also a fun process. And there we go. There we go. That is a clean, sanitized fermenter done. Go ahead and give this a stir. Vigorously. With the point of the vigorous stir being to make sure we expose as much wort as possible. Outer side of the brew kettle is definitely sub 80. Inside the wort, we're definitely like 80 something, so like really dang close, so. Okay. So I'm gonna shut this off. Pull the wort chiller. Oh, hello, Kiwi! How are things in Ohio land? I hope they're going well there. And right now, how are you guys? I am doing good. I have had some manner of brewskis. And we're about to wrap this up. It's pretty good. The weather isn't too bad. Oh, that's good to hear. So, now I have to take the liquid out of here and put it in here. And this is the actual, yeah, actually, that's how I gotta do this. And it is with like that. So we're taking our chilled wort, taking it from the brew kettle, moving it to the fermenter. Because we're basically at the tail end of this process. Now, the interesting thing that, well, a thing that I wish to think about, that I am trying to consider my options on, is, generally speaking, I will add an airlock to a lid for the fermenter during fermentation. However, though, so it's banana, it has banana flavor. There is a chemical that our yeast, these cool boys, the Hefeweizen yeast, they will actually add a banana flavor to it. Because guess what? Banana flavor is dependent on a chemical. It sounds kind of gross. I don't like banana. Well, you know what? Your name's Kiwi and Apple. If you like kiwis and apples, good for you. As for me, I am very much on team. Like, I like bananas. Like, actually, I had a banana with with breakfast today. How goes the brewing? We're doing good. We're getting close to the end. I like kiwis. Apples are in. Oh, okay. I mean, I do like my apples. Apples be good. But yeah, we're actually we're taking our liquid from big brew kettle and transferring it to fermenter. Because this is basically like this is like the ending part. This is like the wrapping up part. This is the part where it's like, great, I don't have work to do anymore until I realize how much things I have to clean. Which is the scary part of where I'm at. Well, eventually where I will be. The me of like 30 minutes ago. The me in 30 minutes is just going to be like, oh dear God, the cleaning that has to be done. I don't mind doing cleaning, but it's also like, it's work. Cleaning is very much work. So, and we're going to try to keep as much of our hop residue in our brew kettle. We're gonna try. You seem to have a lot of work. Yeah, that's just part of like being occupied and just having stuff to do. Personally, I rather have a plenty amount to do. No. And there we go. Woo-hoo! So, I like to consider that a pretty good amount of hop residue in the brew kettle. So all the I thought you spilled it. You thought I spilled. But no, I did not. So, we've got ourselves, and like the chunkier this looks, the better. Because the chunkier it is, that means you have more hops versus liquid. Because you want to get as much liquid as you can into here. So, this is the fermenter. I need a lid. My lid. Hi, lid. This is lid. And then it has a hole. And that hole is for the airlock. So this guy comes off to the side. I apply that and then... Wait. Okay. And then I'll lock it down. Woo! Then, this guy. So here's some sanitizing fluid here. I will pour it into the airlock. So it gets me a fluid level. I apply the airlock. I take the top part of the lock. Then it gets a cap. And that's it. That's it. That's that. Oh gosh, I love the noises the kettle makes when I throw it around. I actually genuinely love the noises the kettle makes when I throw it around. Okay, so. Okay. Oh dearie. Okay, well, so I've screwed up. There we go. Let's fix a screw up. Oh dearie. Oh dearie. Okay. We're gonna remove that because I don't have beer. I don't have beer, and it's a problem. Oh, there we go. Okay. This isn't beer yet. Because I need to add the yeast. So I'm going to dip. So I dipped the end in my sanitizing solution. And then I got to give this a good shake. Okay, that's firmly in top stupid things I've done. That is pretty high up on stupid things I've done. Okay, so we've given this really good mixing. So we're gonna crack this bad boy open. And yeast! And that is... Now this is legally beer. Because when you add yeast to wort, that is when it becomes legally beer. Right now, this is beer. Now there's no alcohol in this beer because the yeast haven't had any time to do their job. But essentially this is, for legal purposes, this is beer. Ah. Push. Oh. That's the lid. Non-alcoholic beer. Oh no. Oh no. I can't make that. You can sell the markup now. Oh man. Oh gosh. The markup for non-alcoholic beer. Actually, wait. Speaking of this, let me finish off my actual beer. Also, remember chat. In order to best enjoy beer, make sure you enjoy it in Toho-themed glassware. Toho-themed glassware makes the beer taste better. But yeah, this is Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Good stuff. Highly recommend. But since we're talking about non-alcoholic beer, I guess I'll finish off today with an Athletic Hazy IPA. So, cheers. Take that. Man. I do like non-alcoholic beer, though, and funny enough, I went to one of my local liquor stores, and they actually had Athletics Oktoberfest on sale. And of course I bought. Of course I bought a 6-pack of it. And I gotta say, it's pretty good. It doesn't hit the spot the same as, say, like a Sam Adams Oktoberfest. But as a beer in Athletics lineup, it's a good beer. It's a really good beer. Like, because a lot of Athletics beer tends to be a lot more hop forward, and the thing is, with non-alcoholic beer, it's really hard to make good non-alcoholic beer that is not either malt forward or hop forward. Like, going for those middle beer styles like lager, like cream ale, Mexican lager, Oktoberfest, some of those beer styles that are not like super on team hop or on super team malt, they're definitely more challenging to brew. Unless it's Heineken 00. I don't know. I really do not know how Heineken does what they do. But Heineken 00 tastes exactly like Heineken. I don't know what they did to make it that way, but you know what? They did things to make it that way, and good on them for that, because it's good. Heineken 00s are good. It's just, unfortunately, my big issue with non-alcoholic beer is, well, regardless of how much I consume, it's not going to screw me up, so I might as well just consume as much as I can. And that's not always a good idea. So, game plan. Today, brew Hefeweizen for the first time. So, we've got ourselves almost 5 gallons of Hefeweizen. I ended up a little bit short on the boil because I lost a fair amount of liquid volume on the boil. So, that's kind of, it is what it is sort of thing. There's not a lot I can do about that. I mean, I could add water to that to bring it up. But if I were to add water to it, I could be introducing sources of contamination. Don't want to do that. But also, Hefeweizen is not as shelf stable as other styles of beer. Basically, you want to drink it within, like, I think 3 to 4 months of bottling. Versus a lager you can leave in bottled form for much longer and it'll still be good. That's kind of the reason why most of the big beers are all lagers. It's because you could take that beer, throw it in a supermarket fridge, and 6 months from now, someone can buy it, drink it, and that person will be like, you know what, that's pretty alright. Lager is very shelf stable in chilled conditions, so. But yeah, Hefeweizen, less so because of it has a lot more esters to it, but that's also the defining characteristic of the style, so. I don't know, I feel like so. First time brewing a Hefeweizen, I think it's going to turn out alright. I'm optimistic. And as far as all that stuff, I think, let's see here. Let's take a, so it looks like our poll has ended. Oh. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got 5 votes. I thought I was dealing with 3 votes. Okay, so so for the shop tour, we're going to be doing a short form video. So, whenever I hit 200 subscribers, because right now I'm just 1 subscriber away, I'm going to be doing a full tour of my shop. That shop tour is going to be on the shorter side. We're going to kind of go through everything. I'm going to show you guys where I keep my stuff. Here's how I've generally laid things out, all that fun stuff. And also admittedly, I am also going to be doing it for myself because I want to take a snapshot of my shop at this point in time. And it'd be fun to have that to like look back on later. So, let's actually wait. Is he streaming now? He might be streaming now. Oh, okay. So he is actually streaming now. Let's do that. Okay, cool. So I am going to finish out today by... So this is Grumpy Old Guy. He's popped in a few times before, and guess what? He is turning another year older, so I'm gonna go pop on over, wish him a happy birthday, and I'll be chilling out there while I get the rest of the shop cleaned up. So I want to say thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in today. May you all have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And this has been Sugi Yamagawa. Hopefully I'll see you around in the next one. Bye-bye.